The Battle of Jieqiao. This battle is one of the few recorded which details the formations of the armies and the tactics that were used. It also highlights that despite the massive numbers of soldiers, the bulk of the fighting was decided by an elite portion of each army. In the late winter of 191, Gongsun declared war on Yuan Shao after his cousin Gongsun Yui was killed in the Battle of Yangcheng. When Gongsun heard of Yui's death, he was furious and shouted, "My cousin is dead, and Yuan Shao is to blame." It's noted that regarding his death, many villagers from Jing province sided with the Gongsuns over Yuan Shao. When Zan marched his army into Ji province, a vast number of Yuan cities defected over to them. He camped at Pan River before sending a list of Yuan Shao's wrongdoings to the central government. To try and remedy this invasion and maintain the peace, Yuan Shao gave his title of administrator of Bohai over to Gongsun Fan, but he just took the garrison troops from there and joined up with his clansmen. Before the 4th month of 192, Yuan Shao personally led his army 20 miles south of Ji Bridge, where they met Gongsun's 40,000 strong army of 30,000 infantry and 10,000 horses, although these numbers may very well have been exaggerated. Gongsun arrayed his infantry in a square and split the cavalry between the left and the right wing. When they advanced, the left wing rode right and the right wing rode left. Shao Yun is recorded as showing up with a volunteer force to serve under Gongsun in the early 190s, where he fought for Gongsun in many battles. This could be the same volunteer force known as the White Horse Volunteers, but Shao Yun is not specifically mentioned in taking part during this battle. The White Horse Volunteers are described in how they shined with brilliance and lit up heaven and earth with their flags and armour. They were an elite mounted unit which followed in the centre and formed the core of the fighting force. The Yuan army was of similar size but mostly infantry. Shou Yi was appointed to the high position of controlling the central army. He was familiar with the military techniques used by the Xiang peoples, and led the vanguard of 800 elite troops with 1,000 crossbowmen on either side to support his advance. The rest of the tens of thousands of infantry were placed behind, with Yuan Shao commanding them. Upon seeing the thinly spread advancing unit of Shou Yi's, Gongsun charged in with his cavalry. Shou Yi ordered his troops to stand ground whilst hiding behind their shields. They made no move until their enemy were 20 feet away. At 10 paces, they leapt up together, charged forward, and gave a battle cry that shook the ground. The crossbows shot bolts like thunder that killed the general Yang Gang and more than 1,000 armed men, completely defeating Gongsun army. The cavalry retreated by circling around to leave the battlefield, soon followed by the infantry. Yuan Shao gave chase and pursued to Ji Bridge, where Shou Yi caught up with and defeated Gongsun's rearguard. Gongsun rallied his men for a final attack. Shou Yi defeated him again and then officially captured his main camp when he seized their yak tail standard. A somewhat separate story emphasises on Yuan Shao's bravery at Ji Bridge. After seeing that Gongsun was all but defeated, Yuan Shao advanced forward with several dozen bodyguards armed with crossbows and 100 foot soldiers. When he was caught by surprise by 2,000 horsemen, Tian Feng tried to bring his lord to safety behind a low wall. Yuan threw his helmet to the ground and said, "A real man should die in front of the ranks. To be idle behind a wall, that is no way to live." The enemy horsemen who were unaware of Yuan Shao's appearance were beginning to withdraw anyway when Shou Yi arrived on the scene and completely defeated them. Shou Yi's great successes here made him arrogant, which would go on to become his downfall when he was eventually purged by Yuan Shao. The battle at Jieqiao halted Gongsun's advances, but he returned along the same route in the winter of 192. His second attempt also ended in defeat. It was only a minor setback though, as after he retreated, his soldiers that fled slowly made their way back to him in the following days and weeks. Shou Yi's last recorded campaign was in 195, when he defeated Gongsun at Bao Shui and killed at least 20,000 enemy troops. After this loss, Gongsun retreated to Yijing, which is where he holed up in his citadel and fortified his defences. In the coming years, he outlasted Shou Yi, whose troops ran out of supplies then deserted. Zan led a counterattack against them, resulting in a great victory. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.